In this particular video session, I am continuing the discussion about understanding the basic concepts of programming and what is a program. So if you remember in the prior video session, we discussed about you getting some pocket money and you buying songs by downloading it from the internet and paying for the cost of the song. So the logic was you will enter the number of songs. Let's say you enter 10. Then I'll say the cost per song is 12. Internally, I will write the logic to multiply the number of songs with the cost per song, which is n into 12 or 12 into 10, which happens to be 120, and the final cost is going to show up as 120. Now, if we have to convert this into a C program, okay, if you have to convert this into a C program, you will first need to identify all the memory locations required to store values or required for calculation. So, my first variable is going to be an integer, which is a number of songs. Integer means full numbers, not fractions. Songs are never going to be 1.5. You cannot download 2.5 songs. So number of songs is an integer. Whereas the cost of each song, I have declared it as a real number or a float because the cost can be 10 rupees 50 paise, 15 rupees 20 paise, and so on. And this memory location will hold the result of number of songs into the cost of each song. Now the first step I need to do is I need to look what I'm doing here. Here I'm saying enter the number of songs you would like to download. So here I'm asking the user enter the number of songs, okay, and in the next step I am reading from the keyboard the number of songs the user wants into a variable called as number of songs. Once the user enters number of songs, I am going to calculate final price as number of songs into the cost of the individual song. So if he enters 12 songs, cost of each song is 12. 12 into 12 is 144 is the final price. And then what I'm going to do here is in the last step, I am going to simply print cost of the songs is, okay, final price. Important. Do not worry about the semicolon, double quote, slash n, all these things, okay. Just broadly understand whether you're understanding the mapping between this and this. So if you see there is a one-to-one correspondence or one-to-one relationship between your logic and your program. So when you're writing a program, you need to understand or take care of a few basic requirements. Let me tell you what are those basic requirements, or let me explain to you what are those basic requirements. First is you need something called as variables, because in order to do calculations or in order to read values or store values given by the user, you require a memory location which changes. So those are known as variables. Example is number of songs is a variable, final price is a variable. Whereas this chap cost of a song is fixed by me. So this is an example of a constant. So 12 is an example of a constant. Now if you see, all of these variables are given certain names. For example, this is given, the number of songs is given n underscore songs, and I'm indicating what is the type of it. The data type indicates that this fellow is a integer type of data. That means it's a whole number. All right. Next step. Variables, the name itself indicates they are going to vary and change and contain different values at different points of times. Variables and names of constant are simply the names we give to memory location. If you are doing in machine language, you have to remember the addresses of the memory location like 10,000, 2,000, 4,000. The advantage of doing programming in high level languages is instead of remembering the addresses of memory location, you give names to memory location. So you are given the name, number of songs, song cost, final price to memory location. Now, if you have seen here, I have used this star symbol. The star is an example of an operator used for multiplication. And this is nothing but the assignment operator. If you remember, we use the arrow operator to assign from right to left. Here a single equal to in C means assignment. That means this is multiplied with this. The result is copied to final price. Now, most of your data you are going to work, okay, forgetting images, is either going to be numeric or non-numeric. Example of numeric is number of songs, song cost. Example of character data could be your name, Rahul, Rajan, Rohan, and so on. It is a must in C that you must declare the names of variables or constants or memory locations before you first use them. Some things like Python allow you to directly use the variables at that point when you require them. But in C, you need to declare them and inform the compiler that please reserve this memory location for me. I need it for my use. So with this, I believe I have given you a bit of a gentle introduction to programming. We are not yet come to C. This is more of a pre-C session to get you a little warmed up to programming when we are going to start.